But I wanted to go live today. I wanted to do this topic. I thought that this would be really educational as well as a great teaching lesson for you ladies. And as you guys know, I get messages all the time from women, right? And I wanted to share this, somebody's experience who went from having 6 fibroids to having 16 fibroids, okay? And how that happened and why that happened, okay? Like always, I am live on TikTok, and I'm live on YouTube, okay? Welcome everybody. Hope that you guys are doing amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you guys are coming in, let me know where you guys are watching from, whether you're watching, you know, what state, city, whatever, where you guys are watching from. I would love to know, okay? This is gonna be a very educational conversation as well as hopefully it hits, how can I say this? Hopefully it's a conversation that makes you realize that, listen, all of these surgeries and these procedures are actually doing the opposite of what you think, okay? So if you're watching from TikTok, let me know, put a 1 in the chat if you guys are dealing with fibroids currently. If you're on your journey to get rid of fibroids, I would love for you to put a 1 in the chat. Hey, everybody coming in, don't be shy. Like the video, okay, as well, if you guys are interested in this topic, okay? So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about how did someone go from having 6 fibroids to 16? And this may have been your experience, you know, or you may have, you may be going through a similar experience or have gone through a similar experience of having your fibroids grow so large within a short period of time, okay? Or having your fibroid multiply so much in a short period of time. This is not uncommon, unfortunately, when it comes to fibroids, okay? So I wanna talk about what happened that made this woman go from 6 fibroids to 16. And she had 2 procedures. We're gonna talk about that, okay? We're gonna get into that. Ladies, let me know in the chat where you guys are watching from. Everybody's coming in quiet. What's going on? I know it's Sunday. I know it's Sunday. I know it's a chill day today. Well, hi, YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so we're gonna get to it, and whoever comes in, because this is a topic that's really important for women for me to cover, right? Because a lot of women don't understand how detrimental these procedures can be, okay? A lot of women don't understand how detrimental having a UFE, a lot of women don't understand how detrimental this going through a myomectomy. They don't understand how detrimental these things are to their womb, right? To their health overall. Because we're told by our doctors that to have a myomectomy, to have a UFE procedure, to go through surgery after, you know, when you have fibroids, right? Once you're suffering with fibroids, once you're suffering through the symptoms, you're told by your doctor to do these surgeries. And let me know in the chat, has that been your experience, okay? YouTube, has that been your experience? Have you been told by your doctor to have a hysterectomy, to have a myomectomy, to have a UFE procedure, okay? Let me know, TikTok, has that been your experience? Yes, okay. So, okay, TikTok is finally talking back. Thank you, Lori. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. Yep, okay, Kiki, okay. So I'm like, am I talking to the right crowd? Okay. Am I talking to the right crowd? Okay, you had 5 fibroids. Okay. So this woman was told she had a UFE procedure before. And I don't want to, of course, I'm not going to share her name, but I wanted to share her story because women need to hear this. Women need to hear this. They need to realize it's not, number one, it's not just them going through this. And number 2, what happens when we go through these surgical procedures, when we go through these procedures that do not get to the root cause of the issue, okay? For those that are new, by the way, my name is Sasha. I'm a holistic womb specialist. And what I do is I help women who have fibroids and other reproductive health issues such as endometriosis and ovarian cysts get to the root cause of the issue in order to completely get rid of these issues, in order to completely become fibroid free, restore their hormonal balance as well, and have them reconnect to their bodies on a deeper level, okay? Because if we have fibroids, there's a disconnection from the body, okay? And you've probably felt it. You've probably felt as though like your body is not your own or your body's turning against you. That's very common with women who have fibroids or other reproductive health issues, right? So there's a disconnect. And that happens first energetically, emotionally, then physically, okay? I had a myomectomy, fibroids came back the size of a cantaloupe. I'm suffering. Okay, so ladies that is commenting, yes, I had them, and they said I had to have a partial hysterectomy. It threw me into early menopause. Yeah, partial hysterectomy. Oh my gosh, awful. I wish they hadn't done that. And here's the thing, a lot of women trust their doctors, right? A lot of women trust their doctors. Their doctors tell them to have this procedure that's gonna help get them to stop suffering. They're running towards that. Okay, what procedure? They're trusting that, but you guys can't have blind trust in these doctors. I'm so sorry. So this woman had, and sometimes these fibroids can come back in as little as months after UFE procedure, after surgery. As a matter of fact, and if you're on YouTube, definitely click the thumbs up button. Thank you so much for liking the video as well. As a matter of fact, there was a woman the woman that I'm talking about now, who messaged me. She had her UFE procedure in 2023. I told her not to, but she did, okay? She did. And that was her decision. She's a grown woman, of course. And I'm not looking down on her because, again, she was trusting her doctors, right? She went through that procedure, and her fibroid, she felt a little better. Her symptoms kind of went away, because that's what these, like I said, these surgeries and these procedures are all about temporary relief. 6 months, I think her fibroid shrunk one centimeter. That was it. 6 months after having the UFE procedure, her symptoms came back, and they came back worse. They came back worse. You guys have to remember, when it comes to a UFE procedure, fibroid embolization, uterine fibroid embolization, you're cutting off blood supply. You're attempting to cut off blood supply cut off the blood supply for the fibroids, right? It's not the best idea, because literally what they're doing is, like, they're putting plastic particles into your uterus in order to cut off the blood supply or kill the fibroid. It's just such a risky procedure. And again, this is why a lot of women are in tons of, I'm going to answer questions in a second. I'm in tons of pain afterwards. It does not, number one, it does not get to the root cause of the problem. And it on the back end makes things worse. Will you feel a little relief? Yeah, you'll feel a little relief, but then what's going to happen after that? The fibroids come back, or they grow back, right? So she had 6 fibroids. And then in 2 years, she grew 10 more. So they went from 6 fibroids to 16 in 2 years. In 2 years. And then she had a myomectomy recently. So she was messaging me after having a myomectomy and telling me that I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna come work with you. I don't want these fibroids to come back, because at this point she knows when she does these procedures, they come back, and they come back full force. And some of you guys have probably experienced that, where you had a UFE, you had a myomectomy, and the fibroids came back worse, right? So what does that mean? These procedures are not the answer. I want you guys to hear me clearly. These procedures are not the answer. What is the answer? The answer is getting to the root cause of the issue. The answer is actually addressing this issue at the root. So what does that mean? That means that we have to start making lifestyle changes. The life that we were living before was causing us to develop the fibroids, right? Whether energetically, physically. So the habits that you were engaging in caused the fibroids to occur. So what does that mean? We have to make changes. And when I say make changes, this does not mean you take a herb and everything's gone. That's not how it works. And some of you guys have probably tried that. You probably tried, because I have a lot of women that message me that say, I've tried herbs, I've tried alkaline, I've tried this. But none of what they're doing is getting to the root cause of the problem. So when you're not getting to the root cause of the problem, you're not addressing the problem. I want you guys to know that, right? A lot of you ladies are very intelligent. You have great careers, right? You travel, you have a great social life, right? Great romantic life. Just think about all the things that you achieved in your life. There was strategy to it, right? It wasn't just random. There was strategy to it, right? Also, think about the problems that you've actually, you've solved in your life. You've gotten to the root of where the problem came from. You weren't just throwing spaghetti at the wall, right? So then when we get into, when women are, when they're introduced to natural healing, right? This tends to be the thing. They tend to know, okay, surgery is not the way to go, right? Your intuition, your soul is telling you surgery is not the way to go. And who wants to go through a surgery when they don't have to? That's another thing too. So then what tends to happen is that you start Googling, or you go online, or you go to TikTok or social media, and then you see people say, hey, take this supplement. This will get rid of your fibroids. Take this tea. This will get rid of your fibroids. So, and we're approach healing like we're looking for a quick fix. when that's not how to approach healing your womb, okay? So a lot of women do that for years, for months and years, and they see it does not work. You because it's not addressing the root cause. It's important for you to understand why your body developed these fibroids. That's why it's so important to understand that, right? That's why I do these lives all the time. If you don't understand that, you're not going to be able to understand how to get to the root cause of the problem. And a lot of women, like I said, they cannot. It's difficult for them to even think about, oh, what's the root cause of the problem is when they're engaging in habits every single day that trigger and cause their fibroids to multiply, to grow, to thrive in the body. Fibroids cannot thrive in a healthy body. And when we have fibroids, when we're dealing with fibroids, we're dealing with a body that's compromised, that has lower immunity, right? So not only does she get 16 fibroids after she had 6 before the UFE procedure, not only did she grow 10 more fibroids, she also got adenomyosis. So, and I say on this live all the time that when you're estrogen dominant, which you are when you have fibroids, your hormones are out of balance, you can easily get another estrogen dominant issue, another estrogen dominant condition. So now she has, she temporarily got rid of the fibroids, right? I'm hoping that she does what she has to do so that they don't grow back again. But now she has adenomyosis, okay? So that you see what I'm saying? When you don't address your fibroids, when you don't address your reproductive health issues, not only does it get worse, not only do they get bigger, not only do they grow bigger, not only do they multiply, but you're actually more at risk for other estrogen dominant conditions. So whether it's adenomyosis, whether it's thyroid issues, whether it's autoimmune disorders, whether it's even at its worst, breast cancer, uterine cancer, these are estrogen dominant cancers, okay? All you guys are understanding what I'm saying. Let me know in the chat, are you guys following what I'm saying? You gotta get to the root cause of the problem. I have endometrial polyps. So it's important, right? We gotta get to the root of the issue. When we're dealing with fibroids, when we're dealing with, polyps, when we're dealing with endometriosis, there's a root cause. There's root causes there that cause those issues to thrive. These conditions cannot thrive in a healthy body. They can't. They cannot, right? And I've been doing what I do for those that are new for a very long time. And I was also able to heal myself, have help. I mean, the number is just crazy. So many women heal within the last few years. Not only through my courses, not only through working with me, but also not only through working with me in my programs, but also through taking courses, master classes, all sorts of things, right? All sorts of offers that I've had, right? So it's important to understand that your body's very powerful and can heal and wants to heal, but you got to give it the right things. You got to create the environment for it to heal. You cannot continue to involve yourself in toxic habits and live a toxic lifestyle and think that your body's going to heal. It's not going to happen, okay? So I'm going to answer a couple questions before I get into the 4 elements of eliminating fibroids. Where do we start? Okay? So feel free to ask me questions as well on YouTube. I know TikTok is asking questions. Feel free to ask me questions on YouTube. I'm going to answer a few. What is the safest removal procedure for these growths? Could you go into detail? Also, you didn't finish your question, Whitney. There is no safe removal procedure. It's all about getting to the root cause of the problem. I know we want to hear, because you know why? The fibroids is not the issue. They're a symptom of a deeper issue going on in your body. So when you have fibroids, ladies, your hormones are out of balance. And not just estrogen and progesterone. You're dealing with a series of hormonal imbalances. You're dealing with toxin overload in the body. You're dealing with stagnation. You're dealing with a liver that's overloaded. Your elimination organs are overloaded. Your body is supposed to keep waste. It's supposed to, dispel, use your elimination organs to dispel waste, but it's keeping it in. So your elimination organs are not functioning efficiently like they're supposed to. So that's the liver is overloaded, the lymphatic system is clogged up, right? So there's a lot of things going on in the body that causes it to develop fibroids. Before we even develop the fibroids, there's a whole host of things going on, right? So it's important for you to understand and know that, okay? So there is no safe procedure. It's about you getting to the root cause of the problem. That is the safest and smartest thing to do, so you won't continue to develop the fibroids over and over again. I just mentioned somebody that did a UFE procedure. She had 6 fibroids, and then a couple years later, she had 16 fibroids after doing UFE and adenomyosis. So there is no safe procedure. Okay, I hope that's very clear. Okay. Hold on. I had fibroid surgery 8 years ago. Now I'm diagnosed with endometriosis. No, my belly button pain. Yeah, okay. So that goes to, thank you for that comment, Sissy. That goes to what I just said about if you have fibroids or any reproductive health issue and you don't address it naturally, you can easily get another one. So a lot of women that have fibroids, it starts off as fibroids. When they don't get to the root cause of the problem, it will be fibroids and endometriosis, or fibroids and anemia, or fibroids and adenomyosis, or fibroids and IBS, or fibroids and autoimmune disorders, right? Or fibroids and, at its worst, uterine, cancer, ovarian cancer. These are at its worst. But then this is why it's important for you to get to the root cause of the issue. Okay, it's important. So it's important for you guys. Important for you guys to realize that there is no herb that can get rid of your fibroids. You guys got to stop thinking that way. You got to get to the root cause of the fibroids. Stop looking for quick fixes. That's why you're in the situation that you're in right now. You got to stop looking for quick fixes when it comes to your health. Okay? Stop looking for that. Get to the root cause of the issue. Right? And I'm going to get to the root cause of the issue. Okay? That's the question you should be asking. Get to the root cause. Stop looking for a herb. Stop looking for a supplement. You guys will stay in. And here's the thing. I'm going to stop. I keep telling myself I'm going to stop talking about this, but I know we get new people on all the time. But I know there's so many people on the internet that's trying to give you a quick fix on how to get rid of fibroids. This is not that. This is why my clients get so many amazing results. We recently, if you follow me, recently we had a client get rid of 13 fibroids in 6 months. Right? We had a client get rid of 4 fibroids while during postpartum. We had a client dissolve a whole fibroid belly, which means that when I say fibroid belly, it means that she was dealing with stomach protrusion due to the fibroids. She had an enlarged uterus. Hers fibroids were so large. She literally dissolved that in a month. Right? We had the video testimonials to back it up. We had a client get rid of endometriosis, adenomyosis, as well as she shrunk her fibroids significantly and got rid of scar tissue, right, in 6 months. So it's important for you guys to understand this. It's important for you guys to understand this, okay? You don't achieve these results by just, like I said, taking an herb. You need to evolve your thinking. Everybody that's asking about herb, evolve your thinking, right? Get to the root cause of the issue. Yes, Lori, and we have some of these testimonials. If you go to the link in my bio, I have a client case study where we have all the receipts where this is a woman that got pregnant after years of infertility, had blocked tubes, had fibroids for the 3rd time after having UFE, she had 2 myomectomies previously before coming to work with me for 6 months. And she had low AMH levels, adenomyosis, so on and so forth, right? Was able to heal all of these things and get pregnant naturally a few months after working with me. So it's important that when you get to the root cause of the issue and actually, like I said, heal your body. Because if you have fibroids, it's a full body issue. It's not just a uterine issue. You guys are just looking at the fibroid and saying, that's the problem. No, that's a symptom of a deeper problem going on in your body, okay? So what are ways to heal? I want to talk about the 4 elements of starting to eliminate fibroids, but we do have these things in our courses, in our programs, okay? And I want to say this for anybody that's interested in working with me. Our 6-week womb healing experience is open, okay? Tomorrow's the last day that we're taking clients, and we have 2 spots left for anybody. The link for more information is the link is in my bio if you're watching from TikTok. It's in the description box if you're watching from YouTube, okay? So I don't have fibroids, never have. I had endometriosis. What should we do? Get to the root cause of the problem. The same thing, right? You got to get to the root cause of the problem, right? You can have hold on. Why is it? Okay, you can have 5 women that are estrogen dominants. You can have 5 women that are estrogen dominants. One can have fibroids, one will have endometriosis, one will have adenomyosis, the other will have ovarian cysts, the other one would be dealing with fertility issues. These are all estrogen dominant conditions, right? They all still have to get to the root cause of the problem. Same thing with PCOS, the same thing. It's just that it all depends on what we're more predisposed to, right? Some people have fibroids running rampantly in their family, right? So when their body is clogged up, they'll get the fibroids right? But that does not mean you cannot get another reproductive health issue. So hopefully that makes sense, right? I have scar tissue from my tubal ligation. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I always tell women not to tie their tubes because it literally throws your body off balance. Is it possible to untie them? That's what I always say. How do we get to the root cause of the problem? We have so many live streams and videos on that, but the short answer, I have so many hour-long videos on how to get to the root cause of the problem. So many. But in order to get to the root cause of the problem, right? Go back to the first step you want to take, and I always say this, go back to when your body first developed fibroids. Go back to the time in your life where your body first developed fibroids, whether that was, whenever that was, right? Or when you first started noticing the symptoms of fibroids. Go back to that time. Typically, that is the most stressful time in your life. That was a very stressful time, typically. It may have been after a divorce, it may have been after a really bad breakup, it may have been during COVID or right after COVID. It may have been when there was lots of family issues. It may have been after, loss in the family. It could have been, like I said, it tends to be during the fibroids will, like I said, it's like you're pulling a trigger, right? Now, not saying that it was the stress alone that caused it, but it's the years of accumulated our behaviors, right? Think about, a lot of you guys are probably in your 30s or 40s. I'm saying that because most of the women that follow me, 30s, 40s, 50s, right? Go back to like the last couple of decades of your life. Ask yourself, was I really living a healthy lifestyle? Right? Was I living, look at the relationships that you in, the toxic relationships. Look at the drinking. Look at the foods you were eating. So all of these things you're accumulating toxins in your body, right? And then when the stress happens, it's almost like you set the alarm in your body. So hopefully that makes sense. So what does that mean? So I do want to get into the 4 elements of eliminating fibroids, but I do want to go back to when you started dealing with when you first was diagnosed with fibroids, right? It's all about you living a lifestyle, right? That is you living a lifestyle that is conducive to healing, and that doesn't go against your healing. Doesn't go against your health. A lot of you guys live lifestyles. If you look at your lifestyle, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, there's a whole host of unhealthy habits. And some of us may have blind spots, we may not see it, but just really write down what you do from the time you get up, like how you feel, even the thoughts that you're engaging in, right? Hey, Flowers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. So it's on my YouTube channel. I have the link is in my bio for my YouTube. If you're watching from TikTok, you need to be on my YouTube. You need to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have literally hundreds of videos on YouTube. Okay, so subscribe, and just to let you guys know, YouTube, we're now monetized. Okay, so in case you guys want to be members, because I will be doing content for members for the membership tiers. Okay, so just in case you guys want to be members. We'll be doing content to go more in depth, okay? I lived a healthy lifestyle, then got into toxic relationship, boom, and spiraled. That'll do it. That will do it. That will do it. But then you have to also, we have to ask ourselves, what version of ourselves attracted that and allowed that to go on? What version of ourselves? Virgo goddess, you just go to the link in my bio. It's right there. Just click the link. YouTube channel is right there, okay? Sasha Rosa. Have ancestors' trauma got anything to do with it? Yes, it does. It does. Because guess what? If your grandmother, your mom was dealing with lots of trauma, they did not heal from that, and this is like a pattern, absolutely, right? We don't understand how, there's also ancestral womb trauma. That's why the work that I do, it doesn't just heal you on a physical level, right? It's deeper than that, because if we have fibroids, that womb on an energetic level is also clogged up, not just physically. We're also dealing with a lot of emotional blockages, right? And whether it's unmet needs, grief, not living in your purpose, your life is filled with overwhelm. You're unhappy. Your life is you're unfulfilled somewhere in your life, right? you're dealing with overwhelm, you're dealing with stress, there's a sense of like, it's deeper when we're dealing with fibroids. It's not just physical, okay? So the unhealed version, yeah. Sometimes around some mess with my stepdad and mom, who are not together anymore. Okay, so I think you're saying what happened, what was going on when you developed fibroids. I think that's what you're saying. I have CPTSD from trauma. Does your program help with that part of healing? It does, but here's the thing. It does, but at the same time, I say this for women that we've helped a lot of women heal emotionally. I will say this though, if your situation is drastic, I will say also get therapy as well. Okay, if your situation is drastic, because I'm not a therapist, right? I'm a holistic womb specialist, and I do have a certificate in womb energetics as well. So I do help with that part of healing. But if it's drastic that your mind just can't see past it, right? Because sometimes I'm be honest with you, right? Trauma is something everybody experiences. As somebody that experienced lots of trauma in my life, your mind has to see past it. You can't be stuck in the trauma, right? We have to, like I said, yes, we feel through it, but we also have to release it. And some people are addicted to their own trauma. Some people are addicted to staying there, okay? So if that is you, I would recommend therapy. But you could also take therapy. There's some women that are in therapy that are also doing our program as well and seeing amazing benefits. Plus, brown women carry a lot of burden. Yeah, of course, right? Of course. Typos. Okay, no problem. Any other questions? If you're watching from YouTube, YouTube is always quiet. Any other questions, ladies? Okay, let's get to the 4 elements of eliminating fibroids before the first 4 that you want to focus on. Let's get started. So here's the thing. A lot of women don't understand that when they have fibroids, their body's in fight or flight, right? Their body's in fight or flight physically and energetically. Our body has 2 states, whether it's in a sympathetic state, fight or flight, or parasympathetic state, rest, digest, heal. So when you have fibroids, your body's inflamed, your body's in a stressful state, right? So the first thing you want to do is we have to do nervous system regulation. The body has to feel safe in order to heal, right? In order to be in balance. The feminine has to feel safe to thrive. So your body can't heal in chaos. And you feeling, like I said, your life being erratic, you feeling unsafe, you're all over the place, you're overwhelmed, your body can't, and you're stressed, your body can't heal that way. So we have to anchor in safety and anchor in trust in our body, that our body can heal. That's another thing too. A lot of women don't trust that their body can heal. These tend to be the women that say, oh, I've tried tea, and I've tried urine steaming, and I've tried this, and I've tried that. What they've tried has not gotten to the root cause of the issue. But they will count that and say, because of that, they're the only ones that can't heal, which doesn't make any sense. I've had so many women tell me that, I'm so tired of hearing that they feel as though they're the only ones that their wombs can't heal. Their situation, we've had some situations of women having several, reproductive health issues, from fibroids to endo to adenomyosis. We've had situations where women's tubes were blocked. We've had situations where one of our clients, she had ovarian cysts, but was bleeding for 2.5 years, okay, and was still able to heal. So stop thinking that your situation is so far gone and that your womb is broken without beyond repair. And that's not true. That's your belief. But if you embody that belief, if you take on that belief, that will be your reality. That will be your reality, okay? So you have to anchor in trust that your body can heal, because of course your nervous system is going to be dysregulated. You're going to feel, your body's going to be in a state of stress if you feel as though you're having heavy bleeding, you're having fibroids, you're dealing with this big fibroid belly. If you feel as though you cannot heal that, of course you're going to be in a state of stress, mentally and physically, okay? So that's really, really important. Another thing that we want to do is unclog our elimination organs, okay? If you have fibroids, your elimination organs are overloaded, they're clogged up, your body is not dispelling waste the way it's supposed to. It's keeping in waste, and that's the issue. And that's, again, fibroids, just think of them as waste, emotional and physical waste, right? things that your body does not need. So we have to start releasing that. And I'm not talking about you going on a detox, a temporary detox, you go on a cleanse. No. Okay? I'm talking about living a lifestyle that activates daily detoxification. Your body was made to detox itself every single day. Not on the weekends, not only when you're cleansing, on a cleanse, not only on a detox. Every single day your body was made to, the way our system was made was naturally detoxify itself. So if you have fibroids or endometriosis or any of these reproductive health issues, you're getting in your body's way of naturally detoxing. Okay? So we have to unclog this, the liver, the colon, the kidneys, the lymphatic system. All of these things are clogged up. All of these things are clogged up when we're dealing with fibroids. Okay? Hold on. Let me prove this comment. Hold on. It's making me approve comments. That's so weird. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So is it hormonal or something else? It is hormonal. When you have fibroids, it's hormonal. It's hormonal. Is your body's keeping waste in? Because you have to understand, if you have fibroids, your hormones are out of balance. Absolutely. You have hormonal imbalances. And some of you guys will say, oh, I've been through, I went to the doctor and some of my hormones are okay and I have fibroids. That's impossible. So you have to ask yourself, what kind of hormone test is your doctor giving you? Is it going deep enough? I guarantee you it's not. Okay? So no, the average hormone test that your endocrinologist, whoever gives you, is not going deep enough. They're not. Okay? They're not considering that your body has 4 different phases, and your hormones are fluctuating in each of those phases. They're not considering, trust me, when you know how the healthcare system really works, and it really works to keep you sick, your minds will be blown. Some of you guys already know that. Some of you guys, your intuition has told you that, right? But you're trying to, I don't know, right? Especially, and you know what? Women from all over the world watch my content. I work with women right now. I'm working with women in like 4 different countries, right? US, Canada, Australia, UK. But when it comes to Black women, I don't want to, these are, okay, when it comes to fibroids, it's a global issue, but when it comes to Black women, I don't get our trust in doctors. I don't get it. Because I get why everybody else would trust doctors, but us, I feel as though we should know better. I feel as though we should know better. And everybody talks about, yes, medical racism. They talk about, healthcare disparity. They talk about all of these things. Black women are always talking about, and how maternal, Black maternal care. Black women are always talking about these things, but it's like they have amnesia, and just like they still have this trust in the doctor. I don't get it. And again, like I mentioned earlier, there was a Black woman that who a story that I said in the beginning, who she had a UFE procedure. She trusted her doctor. This is a Black woman. Had a UFE procedure. The fibroids, she grew 10 fibroids after having UFE. Her fibroids shrunk 1 centimeter, and then 6 months later, she grew from the time she had UFE to now, she grew 10 more fibroids. So she went from 6 fibroids to now 16. Then she just had a myomectomy because her doctor told her to, right? And found out that she not only had fibroids, now she has adenomyosis. So you're seeing that these doctors are not for you. Again, they're making you have these procedures. They're making you cause more scar tissue in the uterus, because that's what these procedures do as well, contrary to popular belief, right? Because a lot of women are coming to me that have these issues, that have had these surgeries, are coming to me with scar tissue as well in the uterus. These issues, these procedures cause scar tissues, ladies. So just to let you guys know. But you claim you know the doctors are not for you, but then you still are letting them cut you open for fibroids, things that you can heal naturally. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. We gotta do better. It doesn't make any sense, okay? My stomach is so big because of this. I need to detox every day. I didn't say every day. I didn't say detox. Okay, I didn't say detox. I didn't say detox. We have to, number one, get our organs healthy, unclog, because they're overloaded with toxins, right? When you guys do detoxes, they're temporary. It's not about detoxing every day. Listen to what I'm saying. We got to get our organs, the liver, kidney, we got to get these organs working efficiently. Your body's supposed to naturally detoxify itself every day. That's supposed to happen. So if that's not happening, if we got fibroids, you're getting in the way of your body doing that. I didn't say go on a detox every day, a random detox. No, I didn't say that. Would you recommend the WFBP diet? I would recommend a womb healing diet. That's what I would recommend. If you have fibroids or any other reproductive health issue, I would recommend a womb healing diet. Okay. How do we declog? I have that information when it comes to how to declog the correct way, not just the regular cleanse, and how to get rid of fibroids. We have that in our courses. We have right now we have the 12 steps on how to shrink your fibroids full bundle course that's available, as well as my 6-week womb healing experience if you're wanting to work with me. Okay. And I mentioned earlier, for those people that have been following me for a while, this week, because of this week the cost to our programs are going up. Okay, so if you want to work with me, get in ASAP. We're gonna change a lot of things around. Okay, this week. All right. I just want to let you guys know that in Puerto Rico there are mass hysterectomies to women. Yeah, it's sad. But it's also happening in the U.S. as well. They say one out of every 3 women in the U.S. will have a hysterectomy, which is outrageous. It's outrageous. Women are just taking out their wombs like it's just nothing. Okay, can we get rid of scar tissue? Yes, naturally, absolutely. Absolutely. I've had tons of testimonials that from women that have gotten rid of scar tissue. Yes, naturally. Absolutely. Absolutely. Your body is, a lot of women don't understand how your body is so amazing, right? Just like you can get rid of, your body is it really fights to heal you. But it's just us that we get in our own way. We get in our body's own way. A lot of you guys can't even comprehend how much of a self-healing organism that your body is, right? This is why a lot of women, we have women that cannot believe their fibroids can dissolve, cannot believe they can shrink and dissolve. They mentally, even though they can see they can read my testimonials, they can see other women doing it, but they would think that their situation is so different that they can't do it, which is crazy. And when you ask those women what they've tried, it will be like, oh, herbs and yoni steaming. Like, what? It's anything but actually getting to the root cause of the problem. It doesn't make any sense. We have to do it better. Another element of eliminating fibroids is balancing your hormones. And when I say balance your hormones, I don't mean take a supplement. Let me make that very clear. Balance your hormones, right? Your hormones are chemical messengers. They control your bodily functions, from your menstrual cycle to your brain activity. A lot of you guys have a lot of anxiety and depression due to your hormones being out of balance, right? They control the health of your body, your thoughts. If your hormones are not in balance, it's gonna affect everything. Literally from the way you think, from even your symptoms on your cycles, your symptoms, right? So a lot of women that have hormone issues have headaches all the time. Your body will break down in different ways. And a lot of women don't know that their hormones are out of balance, right? We live in a society where unfortunately, especially if you're in a Black community, majority of women have hormonal imbalance. Some have it to a bigger degree than others. But yeah, because of us. So we have, like I said, what balances hormones? It's not about taking a supplement. It's not about doing the cleanse. It's not about yoni steaming. No, it's about getting to the root cause of the issue. It's about changing your lifestyle and habits, right? Femininity is balance. So if we are hormonally imbalanced, we're disconnected from self, we're disconnected from our femininity, right? We're disconnected from our bodies. A woman that is hormonally out of balance is out of balance. Right? So just look at areas of your life that reflect that. And like I always say, your womb health is a reflection of of your life. So if the womb we're dealing with heavy bleeding, we're dealing with fibroids, and we're dealing with these reproductive health issues, look at your life. That's going to mirror out in your life. Overwhelm, unhappiness, unfulfillment, right? Unhealthy relationships, or unhealthy, or being in a career that you hate, not being able to manifest, or the life that you want, feeling stagnation, literally, and it's going on energetic stagnation, right? Feeling as though you can't move, you can't get further in life. So it goes deep. I mean, it's deep. I just hit here. I have fibroids. How can you get rid of them? We're talking about that now. I would recommend going to, we're talking about the first steps of eliminating fibroids. In order to, if you want to work with me on completely eliminating fibroids, let me, we do have a link in my bio with our courses and with our programs, okay? So, listen, so let me just make this clear. We don't do tips and tricks here. I know this is TikTok. I'm on YouTube as well. We don't do quick fixes and tips and tricks here. That's all. I know that's a TikTok thing, but you guys see, TikTok is dumbing the generation down. I hate to say it, but it's the truth, right? So people just want to come on here and learn fast, quick tips and tricks, but still have the problem. We don't do that over here. There's so many fibroid influencers or whatever that will give you quick fixes and tricks where you will still have the fibroids. You won't get to the root cause of the problem. We're all about transformation here, and that's why my clients get the results that they get. Okay, people always ask me in my comment section how, because they got to the root cause of the problem. Okay, that's how you get rid of fibroids and keep them gone. So hopefully that makes sense. Another thing too about eliminating fibroids that a lot of people don't talk about is emotional release and energetic release. Your womb acts as a storage center. So when we're dealing with, all of these negative emotions, right? From heartbreaks to childhood trauma to, feeling stagnant in life, feeling unfulfilled with life, right? Feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed out, grief. When we don't deal with these issues, when we suppress them, they stay in our body. The body keeps score. So just think of these fibroids as also emotional blockages, right? So it's not just physical. Fibroids are deeper than that. This is why, again, you have to get to the root cause of the problem, or you'll just keep developing the fibroid over and over and over again. Okay? Over and over and over again. You had this surgery. You get the fibroids afterwards. There's women that's had 5 myomectomies and still develop fibroids after each surgery. When will we learn? The surgeries are not the answer. You got to get to the root cause of the problem. Okay? That is key, right? That is key. You got to address any other questions. You have to address these issues at the root. I mentioned earlier about a woman that went from 6 fibroids. After having a UFE procedure, she then had 16 2 years later and had another procedure. It doesn't make any, we got to stop doing that. We have to stop. That makes no sense. And the reason why she said she had a procedure because her symptoms were so bad after having a UFE procedure. And that's very common after UFE, the heavy bleeding, all of these things, right? The fact that the symptoms eventually get worse because, again, when you do these procedures, you're aggravating the problem. Fibroids are a symptom. They're not the actual problem. They're not really the problem. Your body forms it because it's in distress. Because it's in a toxic state. Your body forms it. So it's not the actual problem. It's the fact that your body's under stress. It's the fact that your body's inflamed. It's the fact that your hormones are out of balance. The lymphatic system is congested. The liver is overloaded. The digestive system is backed up. It's deep. So it's not just, we just look at the fibroid and it stops and ends there. No. And if you keep doing that, you will continue chasing your symptoms and never getting to the root cause of the problem. A lot of women do this. They chase their symptoms for a lifetime. That is jail. That it's time for you to be free. This means that we get to the root cause of the problem, solve the issue at the root, shrink and eliminate these fibroids, and heal the body, get the hormones in balance. That's real freedom, right? That's real freedom. Not these quick fixes just for you to have the problem again next week. Come on now. Come on now. Okay? So it's important for us to think of our health, right? We gotta love ourselves enough to actually want to go on a journey of healing our bodies. We cannot continue to hang on to the problem or continue to perpetually look for quick fixes. And what gets me is that you will do this, continue looking for a quick fix, look for a quick fix for years and then blame, oh, natural healing doesn't work or it can't work on me. You never actually done it. You looking for a quick fix and trying everything on the market is not healing. You just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what works. And none of it's going to work because you're not getting to the root cause of the problem. okay? So I want to reiterate that. I have an amazing, amazing, amazing 6-week program, okay? For those that want to work with me, for those that have been thinking about working with me, YouTube, TikTok, that's called our 6-week womb healing experience, where you work with me for 6 weeks to transform the health of your womb, right? Women have come out of this 6-week program, again, dissolving their fibroid belly, shrinking their fibroids significantly, dissolving smaller fibroids, getting rid of all of their PCOS symptoms, having their periods go from days of flooding to 3-4 days and much lighter, improving their menstrual cycles, improving their hormonal health. And also as well, we had another woman that was bleeding for 42 days nonstop. She stopped and was able to reset her cycle. So women have gotten their lives back from working with me for 6 weeks, okay? Now, my highest level program is the Detoxify Your Womb program, all right? But 6-week program still, like I said, it has a huge impact on women. So we're open until tomorrow's the last day for women that want to work with me, okay? And are serious about getting to the root cause of the problem and transforming the health of their wombs, okay? What do you suggest women do? Do about what? That's what this whole live was about. You might want to watch the replay. It's going to be on YouTube. So make sure that you guys subscribe to if you're watching from TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. Okay. Any other questions before we go? Any other questions? Okay. Any other questions before we go? I wasn't going to go live today, but I said, I had to talk about this topic. Especially after I heard this story. This woman told me that she grew 10 fibroids in 2 years. It was so sad. 10 fibroids in 2 years after having a UFE procedure. We got to do better. These procedures are not getting to the root cause of the problem. And they're actually they're worsening the state of your womb, okay? Any questions before we go? I definitely want to get your program. Okay. The link is in my bio for more information about the 6-week womb healing experience. For more information, if you're watching from TikTok, the link is in our bio to sign up. Read about it, sign up. Again, tomorrow's the last day to join. Okay. And I did mention that my prices will go up this week for our programs. Absolutely. Okay. We save lives out here. We save, not just save wombs, we save lives. So we're going to be pricing as such. And our testimonials are just too long. I mean, we're getting women pregnant after years of infertility. I mean, it's what we've done is crazy. Like the testimonials that came out of our programs is just like, I don't want to say miraculous because the body is very self-healing. A lot of us just don't know. If you're watching from YouTube and want more information on the 6-week womb healing experience, the link is in my description box, okay? She's the real deal, ladies. Because of her, I have no more period pain. Thank you, Jessica. Yes, Jessica, I'm so proud of you. Yes, continue the journey. I have 5 fibroids. I'm changing my diet and exercising. A lot of people said that helps. No, that helps for weight loss. That helps for weight loss. Is that a good start? Yeah. But when you say changing your diet, what do you mean? Are you eating a womb healing diet? Do you even know what that looks like? So it's not just about changing your diet to some random diet. Somebody asked me about a random diet earlier. It's a womb healing diet. There's a difference, okay? Exercise is always great, no matter whether you have fibroids or not, but these things are not gonna help get rid of fibroids. Can I get help with my pelvic pain? Absolutely. If pelvic pain, I would look into my Fix Your Period course. That would, yeah. I have a course on Fix Your Period. So if you have any type of ovulation issues, any type of period issues, it's for that. Estrogen dominance, hormonal issues, Fix Your Period course is really good for that. All right. Any other questions before we go? Okay. I want to see, listen, we're 6 months into 2026. I want to see more women go into 2026 fibroid free. You can if you start now. If you start now, we start powerfully working on it now. You don't have to go another year dealing with fibroids. Okay? You don't have to go another year dealing with fibroids. Don't go into, listen, solve this issue and be done with it. Solve this issue and be done with it. When will you go live again? I don't know. You have to get on the email list. Joanna, every time I go live, I tell my email list. So get on the email list, okay? I don't go live as often as I used to, but get on the email list. That's what I tell my email list every time before I go live, okay? You're welcome. The link is in my bio to join our email list, by the way. How can I join your program? The link is in my bio to join the program. The 6-week womb healing experience, the link is in my bio. Is this a vegan plan? No, because vegan has soy and it has things, vegan has things that can trigger fibroids. So no, I wouldn't say it's a vegan plan. But it is void of animal products, yes. Okay? But I wouldn't call it vegan. Okay? Any questions? Because we should not be eating animal products if we're trying to get rid of fibroids. We should not be eating anything that's gonna cause more mucus, that's gonna cause more waste, that's gonna overload the organs even more. It's not gonna happen, right? The fibroids will grow and thrive. All right. I don't see any other questions, so that's pretty much it, ladies. Again, if you're interested in the 6-week womb healing experience, the link is in my bio. Tomorrow's the last day to join. Prices go up for our programs later this week. So be sure to, like I said, if you're wanting to work with me, get in now before the price goes up, because they will later this week, okay? Make sure that you're following me if you're watching from TikTok, and also get on our email list and get on our YouTube channel. The link is in my bio to join our YouTube channel. We have tons and tons of replays, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so they kicked me out of TikTok. That was weird. Okay, but anyway, hi YouTube. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a lovely day. I don't see any questions on YouTube. Again, if you need more information on our program, the link is in my description box. Okay, have a great rest of your day. All right, bye, ladies.